We are going to be talking today about how to get the maximum return on investment from your lawn care Facebook ads. I have 5 quick tips that I'm going to give you. This is going to make it super easy. This is the system I use for every single client doing lawn care and landscaping Facebook ads here at Lightspeed. So let's talk about how this works. Let's dive right in. Hey, the first thing that I want to talk to you about is your targeting. Now, this is something that if you've been around for a minute, if you've been on the channel a few times, you've probably seen this before. But for anybody who's new, the big thing here, I call it hyperlocal targeting. This is winnowing down your audience on Facebook ads to just the subdivisions where you want to increase density or you want to break in. Any of those things, you are going to focus on just that neighborhood. Now, what most people overlook in the geographic targeting options on Facebook is that you can do not only inclusion zones that are dropping a 1 mile radius circle, you can drop exclusion zones as well. So you can drop a pin that does a 1 mile radius circle that cuts away part of that existing circle. So you can get really intricate with targeting just the subdivisions you want and not the apartment complex right next door, not maybe a different neighborhood that's across the street, people who commute past. Whatever that looks like for you, you can target just the subdivisions where you want to get a lot of touches with those homeowners. Those are the places that you already have trucks in the field. Those are the places where guys are being seen in their uniforms. You have yard signs out. Maybe you're doing physical mailers or flyers on the doors. You're getting additional touches with people who already recognize you. And that is the way you're going to get the most bang for your buck out of Facebook. So not only is this targeting, but I also want you to think about the other channels that you're getting touches with these potential customers on. There's no silver bullet in marketing, right? If there were, it would be really easy to do and everybody would be doing it and it wouldn't work anymore, right? So we don't want it to be an easy solution. There is going to be some work that goes into this. But when I say that this stuff is easy, it's that it's simple to understand, simple to execute on. There's just several steps you need to do. So get your targeting set up correctly and don't focus only on digital ads. Make sure you've got some feet on the pavement, dropping flyers, yard signs. Make sure that you're being seen in this neighborhood. Make sure your trucks are wrapped. That gets into branding a little bit outside of the scope of this video, but make sure that you've got all of those angles covered before you're diving into your digital ads. Okay, the second thing here is your creative. Now, the big thought here is that we want to be as dramatic as possible in the creative. So we want to have really dramatic before and after shots. So if you're a landscape installer, that's really easy, right? Because you go from there being nothing there to, an amazing hardscape or a patio install or a completely revamped set of flower beds, whatever that looks like for landscape installers, that's really easy, right? That drama is really easy. For my maintenance guys watching, you have to find the drama, right? There's not a lot of drama in mowing a lawn, but maybe you had a week where it rained really hard. In Texas, if it rains super hard, then we have that St. Augustine grass and it grows really, really quickly in the early summer. So you can have a thunderstorm come through and you come out a week later and the grass is super high. Now you could do a before and after of, grass that's mowed really high and then what it looks like after when it's all cleaned up. That might be some drama you could do for a mowing ad. If you're doing fall cleanups, man, going from covered in leaves brown to revealing the green grass underneath right before it goes dormant, that is drama. That's something that's super simple for someone scrolling to understand. Hey, it went from this state before to this amazing state after. That is some drama for you. So look for those moments that are really, really obvious to the customer. Maybe you have a photo of when a customer started with your weed control and fertilization package. And maybe they had some weeds coming up out of the ground. The grass looks really bad. And then you have at the end of as you're wrapping up the season in the fall, you're able to show what their lawn looks like now, or maybe even a photo from 2 years ago. It's taken a long time to rehab this lawn, but a dramatic before and after showcasing what you can do with weed and fruit. That's a really good option. Look for the drama and tell a story in your creative. And that's not always going to be something that's easy to do, but that is the best practice that I'm going to recommend. You can also just show a beautiful home with a beautiful lawn, and that will get clicks. Okay, let's talk about number 3. That is your call to action. 9 times out of 10, maybe more than that, your call to action on a lawn care or landscaping Facebook ad should be get a quote. There should be no confusion. We shouldn't go with that generic learn more option. No one wants to learn. This is the internet. We're not here to learn, especially on Facebook. We're here to argue with our uncle. So we want to make sure that they understand what the next step is in doing a business relationship with us. And it's not learning. It is requesting a quote and getting into that sales process. So let's make sure that we're always using get a quote. For some things, you can maybe add a second option in there for book now, especially for like mowing and maintenance. And if you're doing something like we talked about in our one simple change to your estimates to increase your conversion rate, if you're doing some sort of instant pricing solution, watch that video if you haven't. But if you are using some sort of tool like that, a book now might make a lot of sense because they can go from, they click that, they measure their own lawn, they get a price, they sign up, they're on the schedule, they did book now. We just want to make sure that that call to action that we're using, that CTA button, makes sense for the experience they're about to have. When you see really dramatic differences from, your click-through rate on the ad is really, really good, and then people aren't converting on the website, that could be that there is a mismatch between what they expected from the button they clicked and what the experience they got on your website. So keep that in mind if you're seeing that kind of disconnect between our click-through rate is really, really positive and what we end up with on the website is not positive. It very well could be that. Or also check to make sure the form is working, because I can't tell you how many times I have gone to investigate a problem with someone's ads and it's that their website got broken at some point from when the ads were published. Hey, if this video has been helpful to you so far, this is the kind of content that I make here on the Lightspeed Social Agency YouTube channel. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not subscribed already. And if you know that you need to execute a maximum ROI marketing strategy for your lawn care and landscaping business in 2024, give this video a like to let me know that that's the kind of content you want going forward. Okay, let's talk about a secret weapon with lawn care and landscaping Facebook ads. That is the dynamic creative option. Now, I've talked about this on the channel before in a little more detail, but the big thing here is you're going to toggle this on at your ad set level. If I remember correctly, you're going to toggle on dynamic creative. And what this gives you is the opportunity to put in 5 options for your headline, 5 options for your body copy, and anywhere from 1 to 10 options for the creative. And you can do a mix of still images and videos. Now, what a lot of generic marketing content, what a lot of agencies will preach to you is an idea of A/B testing. Split testing is what it's called. We're going to have this ad with this creative compete against this ad with that creative. And after 2 weeks, we're going to see which one performs the best. Now, my experience in the green industry is that our selling window for any given service is very narrow, right? We need to sell mowing in like less than 2 months. Most people who are going to sign up for mowing, the bulk of your return on your ads is going to happen really, really quickly. And so we don't want to waste a bunch of time spinning our wheels trying to figure out which ad works and showing people the same ad over and over. Because if you're using the targeting I'm talking about here, you're getting in front of these people in these subdivisions 5, 6, 7 times with an ad that may be a total dud and you just haven't been able to test it out yet and find that. So what I would rather you do is dump all of your creative, use the tools that you learn on this channel, watching other videos about how to design your ads, how to write that copy. I have some very exciting stuff coming in 2024 that hopefully I'll be able to help you. Even if you can't hire us as your agency, you'll be able to get some materials in your hands to take care of this in-house DIY. But the big thing here is we want to put all of our really good creative, all of our really good copy in the campaign. Let Facebook decide what it wants to show that individual user. And they claim in their algorithm that they're able to optimize that for what they think will get a click from that individual user. So they're rolling the ad for you to the individual user. And you can then, you're not relying on split testing in small audiences is not statistically relevant, right? The math guys would tell you need an audience of at least 15,000 to get statistically relevant information out of that. So even in our split testing, if we were doing it in the, kind of scientific way, we would need much bigger audiences than the average lawn care and landscaping business is able to get in front of. So I would focus on the dynamic creative option, going to make sure your ads look perpetually fresh to potential customers, because they're always going to be seeing a new piece of creative, a new little bit of copy, a new headline. All of that is going to be constantly changing. It's going to look really fresh, but if you've designed it to be cohesive, where you're using creative that features your guys in uniforms, your trucks are wrapped, it's always obvious what company this is coming from, then they're always going to know that it's a touch from the same brand, and it's going to make you look a lot bigger and a lot more professional. And a really small outfit can look really big online if they're using this kind of tool in their lawn care Facebook ads. Okay, let's talk about the fifth thing here, and that is retargeting. Now, you can retarget on any ad platform. It just means that someone who engages with your ad in some way or engages with your brand in some way online gets a specific ad coming after them again. And you see this all the time when you look at something on a website, you look at a product for sale, and then you see the ads everywhere you go online. They'll be on, you're reading an article somewhere and it'll pop up in the, as you're reading the article. You'll see it on Facebook. You'll see it on Instagram. Wherever you're going, you're seeing the same product again. That is retargeting. And that works really well because we know that we need 8 to 10, maybe 12, 14 touches now to close a sale. And so we want to get those additional touches with people who have raised their hand and shown that they're interested in what we're doing. So we retarget on Facebook, and I tell people to retarget on Facebook, and that also gets them on Instagram, regardless of where you got the lead or the click from. They haven't turned into a lead yet. So your Google traffic that hits your website, we want to retarget them on Facebook by using the Facebook pixel embedded on your website to capture whoever hits and then retarget them on Facebook, because it's so much cheaper to get in front of their eyeballs on Facebook and Instagram than to get back in front of them on Google. So we want to focus on wherever the traffic comes from. They saw a truck in the field and hit your website just straight on to the website on their phone. We want to retarget them then on their work laptop when they're in a meeting, bored out of their mind, and they're scrolling Facebook on their laptop. We want to get in front of them when they're at their kids' soccer practice and they're scrolling Instagram on their phone, or they're in line at Starbucks. We want to follow them wherever they go and get back in front of them and remind them that we exist and that this item is still on their to-do list, and we can cross it off for them. We can go ahead and get them to get a quote now for whatever it was that they were interested in. So those are the 5 pillars that you can follow to get the maximum ROI out of your lawn care and landscaping Facebook ads. This is not super complicated. This is not rocket science. I promise you that you can do it. Follow these 5 steps and you will have a great time using Facebook. Just remember that you don't want to use any one marketing channel in isolation, right? They all work together. We're forming that engine of marketing. And so we don't want to rely on just one tool in our toolbox. We want to use the right tool for the job. And we want to make sure that we're using every tool available to us, pulling every lever to get the maximum return we can out of all of our marketing efforts. They all work together. They're not in competition with each other. So, hey, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week.